It's a journey, y'all. It's called the journey within. That's what my friend said to me. She said,
Genius.
there's no greater journey than the journey within.
Okay, Spirit, I hear you. Oh wow, all these alarms going off. Welcome everyone. I hope you're doing good. I hope you're doing great. Welcome to another episode here on Roots Holistic. I hope your day has just been amazing. Interestingly, I was drawn to using this Faces of Oshun deck today, and let's see what Spirit has for us here. The first card that we have here is Oshun of Unwavering Love, and beneath that it says Unconditional Love, Compassion, and Selflessness. The next card we have is Oshun of Perpetual Beauty, Inner Beauty, Self-Love, Transformation. The next one that we have is Oshun of Resurrection, Rebirth, Transformation, and Renewal. And we also have Oshun of Harmonic Balance, Harmony, Inner Peace, and Synchronicity. Wow. You know, it's so interesting how I'm getting this as like a whole story or like a whole passage of time where, because of this love that you have for yourself with these two cards, it brings about this this transformation, renewal, and rebirth, right? I'm getting Phoenix energy as well from this. And then as a result of that, like, you know, it's like everything settles. This number 5, this resurrection, is feeling like the tower moment within this, and these two first cards feel like the build up to that tower moment. And then at this point here, this is like when the dust settles and everything is now coming into balance. And you know, interestingly, when we think of a tower moment, we might think of things as like falling apart, but I also like to think of them as things are falling into place. So in this case, things are falling into balance and into harmony. And you know, what I'm also getting from this is that sometimes we do need to let things fall apart so they can actually fall into place. I think sometimes, you know, we hold up, you know, structures, facades. We present images or perceptions of ourselves, of how things should be or how we think others want them to be. You know what I mean? It's like, how often do we make decisions or choices with others being considered first instead of how it is going to serve us, how it's going to make us feel? And I think we are being drawn to that right now. Of course, I'll go deeper into every single card, but you know, just looking at these cards is definitely, like I'm saying, telling a story of how the love that you have for something or someone is, oh, actually, you know what, Spirit's correcting me right now. This is all about you. This is, I mean, just looking at this first card, I mean, there's an image of the lady looking into the mirror and seeing herself, but then she's seeing herself in the eyes of another person, but this person is ultimately her reflection. So it's a question of saying, like, which parts of you do you see yourself within other people, which are reminders of the parts of yourself that you need to love and nourish and compassion. It's also coming across as like the people in your life or the people that you attract are actually parts of you that you love within someone else. It's like, let's say you love, you know, like, okay, I'm looking at how they dress. Like, let's say you love dressing well, you love fashion, and then you love seeing someone else dress well, but because you love seeing someone else dress well, that's just a reflection of what you are, that you are somebody who dresses well, or because you love it so much that is the love almost being expressed, but it's showing you who you are in return, that you are the quote-unquote fashionista. So, also in this image, I'm seeing like the drums, I'm also seeing the moon cycles. So let's say, for example, you like music. Let's say you are a spiritual person, you align to the moon, and you do things according to moon cycles. It's giving that type of an energy where the interests that you have, the hobbies that you have, just whether in this case I would say something spiritual, something musical. I'm also speaking about dress code, but I mean, this guy here who's facing the lady is quite buff, so it could also be like health, like you gymming, things like that. But it's like the things that you admire are being reflected back to you through the people that are surrounding you, and they are ultimately just showing you yourself. So you are seeing yourself in other people, and again, seeing the parts of yourself that you can love more, greater, or perhaps shed more light upon, so that those parts of you are elevated. This leads on to the next card, which is this perpetual beauty. And I mean, from having seen what is being highlighted, what you need to have unwavering love for, it then now comes back to this character being by themselves. It's like, this is the embodiment of this energy. This is knowing that you are the force, you are the love, you are whatever energy that you've chosen to become, and you honing in on that is what starts the transformation. Because it's just coming to my attention now that this card has the word transformation, and so does this one. So it's like how you attract the bees, which is what I'm seeing here, and then you becoming the bee, or even becoming the dragonfly. It's like you having taken all of these outside influences which showed you who you are, and then it's like you had like a wake-up call, and you suddenly remembered like, oh damn, I'm the shit, I'm him, I'm her. And then you fully stepping into that now makes you like this newly created divine version of yourself. With all of the gold and yellow in these cards, I'm getting the Midas touch. But then also with this occurring in this card and then leading to the next card, I'm seeing how there's the dark and the gold, and then here's like gold and luscious with all the greenery. I mean, even her hair looks like a forest. And then here we have the green and the darkness, the green. Ooh, yeah, I'm saying green. But the gold and the darkness, which is like pinks and purples, right? And then over here we have them balanced, like literally with a line right in between. So it's like you've embraced the part of you that is godly, that is divine, the part of you that is all-knowing, the part of you that you've always just needed to accept and see within your experiences, the part of you that is beautiful. I think our unique nature is exactly what makes us beautiful. We are all skilled or adept or gifted in certain things, in certain areas. Like I know in my case, I have all the clairs, but somebody else, and that's one of, or part of my gift, right? But somebody else has like a gift of joy. Somebody else has a gift of laughter, that when they enter places and spaces, or the influence that their auric field has on other people around them, or wherever they are drawn towards, they bring that gift to that place. But now it's giving this energy of you are finally at a point where you are giving the gift to yourself, or honoring those parts of yourself, and that is what gets elevated and allows this perpetual beauty transitioning into this transformation. Because the moment you start to see yourself, the moment you start to give yourself everything that you've been projecting outwards, you are like filling your own well. You are nourishing yourself from within, and once you know how to do that, then it's like you are elevated, you are put to a higher level, a higher degree. This is very much like goddess energy. This is giving sage, monk, Buddha type energy, because of the elevation of how much you've recognized between your shadow and your light, your earthly presence and your spiritual or heavenly divine presence, because it's also got the scales in here. We can think of this as like Libra scales as well. But it's again very much leading to that balance and knowing that, okay, now it's time for ego, now it's time for spirit, and you being so in tune with yourself, knowing yourself, having honored yourself fully, unencumbered in that aspect, like limitless. Your infinite divine nature is known and is fully being expressed. And wow, that is just so amazing. At the back of the deck, what we don't see, what is in the shadow, what is in the background, we have Oshun's desire. And here it says passion, longing, and drive. Interestingly, it's like you can look so long outside of yourself for something to drive you, something to motivate you. But the moment that you see yourself is the moment that you see just how divine you are, how you are an expression of the divine, that you are, godly, goddess, God, like, in like a human form, in expression, There's a reading that I did earlier on the channel where I spoke about how everyone is an expression of God, and that we are all creators in our lives, in whichever aspect or area that we are being called to create in or express within. And what you choose to express is your passion, and you are now driven towards that. What is it that's going to make you want to go out there every day and do the thing that you love doing? It's by seeing yourself and going through this journey that is being presented here in the foreground. But for this to appear here in the background, I'm getting this energy of again having been looking for something outside of yourself for so long, only to realize that it was within yourself. And desire is actually such a beautiful word. It's a beautiful expression. It's a beautiful feeling. And sometimes we can often think of like desires as perhaps like something negative or something bad, but then our desires are only like indicators of where we need to go, or where our soul is calling us to go. So you following your desires is not only like lessons, but it's teaching you, it's directing you, it's a compass as to the aspects of yourself that are actually going to lead you to seeing yourself, loving yourself, honing in and embodying that beauty, then transforming, and then bringing about this balance between your earthly self and your spiritual self. I think this is so beautiful already before we even like deep dive into the tarot. And wow, look at that. There's happiness behind that. There's a celebration, because it's like, imagine having information hidden from you for a significant period of time, and then by the time it becomes known to you, it's like all you can do is be glad, all you can do is celebrate. Before I actually dropped this card here, I was thinking about how from this Oshun's desire to these 4 cards and all this way around, it's like a cycle, right? And then if this was the start of it, and then now look here towards the end, we have another card with drums and more characters, and now all the colors. So it's like all the frequencies, all the spectrums, all the energies, all the vibrations have been integrated such that this can all take place. And it looks like it's very much being like planted or seeded through these experiences here, because every color that we see within these top 4 cards is now being shown in these cards over here. I'm also getting like peacock season as well, like how the peacock shows its feathers, how it's very bold, it's wide open, and it's seen and it's visible. That's very much coming through here in the background, especially also with this hair that this character has over here. It's like, how many signs did you need for you, a confirmation verb, sorry, or like experiences, situations did you need to go through to see that you are you are him, you are her? So it's very beautiful that we are at this point in the journey, or of the journey, your journey, the collective, right? Whoever has found this message, I think this is very powerful. And yeah, let's dive in. Let's see what Spirit wants to tell us some more about each of these cards. But so far, very much beautiful, and I'm appreciating it, yeah? All right, let's tap in. All right, Spirit, what you got for the unwavering love? Okay, taking this one. Okay, we've got 6 of Pentacles in reverse. And we've got 9 of Pentacles in reverse. Wow. Okay, let's stop right there. Interestingly, it's both Pentacles cards, right? And these are, things earthly. things of the earthly realm, our time, money, energy, home, career. It could be all of that. But with us knowing that it is about the love and what we give into ourselves in the context of this unwavering love, this is coming through as a message of how we shouldn't shortchange ourselves. We shouldn't shortchange our desires, because if we can spend so much time seeing aspects of ourselves that we love in others and that are being reflected back to us, why are we not doing the same thing to honor ourselves? Because this being the start of the story, and of course, how I've explained it is that this transformation is occurring. This starts off with that recognition, or the signs, or the synchronicity showing you like, hey, do you realize how much you're giving and taking? And where can you improve on how much you give and take? This is, of course, the energy that you give to yourself, the time that you give to yourself. And how does that, like in this case, it's speaking to how you are not giving enough to yourself, and now you are not fully your best, or the version of you that is, enjoying life to the fullest and everything that is available or being offered to you. So when you see other people doing things that you love, experiencing things that you love, having things that you love, then you are being shown that it is actually possible for you, that it is actually accessible to you. But why are you not aligning with a version or an energy of yourself that actually has that thing? Because you are very much deserving of it, and you can very much have that experience, that energy, or that time, that job, that home, that career. You can very much have that. And in this case, again, it's just about how much are you willing to give to yourself so that you can fully have what it is that you deserve. What do you have for perpetual beauty? Okay, this one. Oh my word, these three. Oh, these four. Goodness, like all these cards on the fallout. Okay. Okay, we'll take them all. We'll take them all. Hey, Spirit, I ain't gonna hold you, gang. I ain't gonna hold you. I ain't gonna hold you, gang. All right, so for perpetual beauty, we've got 5 cards here, and I'm being made to look at the back of the deck. 3 of Wands in reverse, but we'll get to that. Okay, no more shuffling, Spirit is saying, actually. All right, so for perpetual beauty, again, it's saying inner beauty, self-love, and transformation. So just looking at the cards in the order of me having flipped them over, we have, let's move these up to make more space here. We have the 10 of Cups, leading to the Queen of Swords in reverse, the Emperor upright, Page of Cups, and then ending off with the 4 of Pentacles. Wow. It's like, you having everything, you having your greatest story to tell, you having your happily ever after, you having fulfilled all your heart's truest desires, is like there's this current version of you and the version of you that you're becoming, or perhaps like the version of you now and your childlike version. It's a recognition of this outpouring that you've always desired has always been within yourself, and everything that you are looking for has always been for you to discover through your trials and your errors, your tribulations. With me even thinking about these cards, like, in a traditional sense, where I would usually look at the second card as like the challenge or the change in energy, and it's inspiring to say, okay, I want to live a happily ever after. I want to get to the point where I'm emotionally fulfilled. My cups are filled to the brim. I'm having my cake and eating it too. I like to say that. But that comes with the recognition of that you actually have that desire. You actually want to be someone who is fulfilled, and not just for yourself, but even within the people, the places and spaces around you. But then if you do not even know yourself, then how can you occupy, like, if you don't know the inner you, how can the outer you, or the reality, the spaces that you occupy, reflect who you truly are if you are not even giving that to yourself? Right? And that now leads on to the next card, which is the Queen of Swords in reverse. This is like knowing that the truth comes at a cost. The version of the truth that you live, or the version of the truth that you tell yourself, needs to change, because what your happily ever after is, what is your ultimate fulfillment, your ultimate happiness, what is most joyous and accomplished for you is being challenged, because it's like having an idea of what self-love is, but it's one that was portrayed by the media, or one that was, let's say, perpetuated, let's say, again, perpetual beauty, but like a family member. Like how beauty is like portrayed in the media, of like how, to be beautiful, you have to be a certain body size, or you have to have, certain features, or use certain products, that type of a thing. I'm even thinking of makeup right now. So it's like, what is your makeup? Like, how are you put together? And that is being challenged, because it's really a question of, is that your truth? Is that honoring the aspect of you that is really seeking to be loved, that is seeking to be truly beautiful? Because if beauty is in the eye of the beholder, and like we're seeing in this card, the eye is like on the shield or behind her, it's like there's a version or a story, or like something that you are yet to see, that is requiring you to like take a step back, in a sense, to realize that your greatest fulfillment is different to what has been shown or given, or perhaps even like thrusted upon you. Like, I'm getting this feeling of like someone not having a choice of what life path they follow, or how they like take care of themselves, uplift themselves, but that is completely being challenged right now. And then you, moving on to the next card, the Emperor, you setting a new foundation, you now having taken the time to, again, this for me is like the start of this transformation of sorts, where you are now realizing that, oh damn, I planted seeds, like I was saying earlier, the planting, right? I planted seeds that sprouted negative thinking, or defeating mindsets or energies, and now I'm going to plant my tree, or myself, my ideas, my energy on a hill, on a place where it's seen and visible, because that's who I am. This is like a becoming. This is a recognition of just how much power and strength you have, not only over yourself, but over others. The thing about being a leader is that leaders lead others, but they also need to lead themselves, and leave the aspects of themselves that were not allowing them to be those leaders. There's a certain level of discipline that's required of you to become an emperor, to be a steward of a kingdom, a society, a ecosystem, I'm thinking municipality right now, but okay, the word I'm thinking of has something to do with system as well, but just a structure around, like, the empire, the castle, something to that effect. But if you can think of the word that fits what I'm saying right now, please drop it in the comments. And moving on from that, it's because you have now understood what your greatest fulfillment is, or what your end goal is. Like, those people who kind of like plan out their lives to a T, of like, hey, what would make me the happiest is to have, a house, a car, a wife, to travel, and to live in a particular area, for example. It's like you needed to like go back to the drawing board and see what that is for you, and it's like you creating like a map of sorts to see what that looks like. So in this case, it's like, here's this person as an example with the love of their life, or their partner, or having united within themselves, themselves and their younger self, or you and your spirit team. And these are all the things, or all the experiences that you want to be a part of your life. And that, of course, being the map, or being the blueprint, you now get to this point, being the Page of Cups, being the creator of that. Just like I was saying, everyone is an expression of God. So you now get to express your divinity through the things that you love, through the life that you've created for yourself, that is now fulfilling you and pouring back into you just as much as you are pouring into it. But, even the king has guides. Even the king has people to consult with. And in this case, it's coming across as you being the creator, you honing in, you learning how to be the best leader, you learning how to be the best creator or the best steward of this energy or this gift that you have, is allowing you to bring in more creative endeavors, more fulfillment, more expression, just more opportunities to bring forward emotion and experience and things that are actually going to fill your cup over time. You know, with me even seeing her painting this cup, it's like you are the designer, you are the painter. You can choose ultimately. And, you know, being the student of that, or being a curious or young energy approaching your emotions and your expression and, you know, just the things that you love, the things that fulfill you. This is very much about fulfillment. Again, you know, this is coming under the beauty card, and, you know, beauty is in the eye of the beholder. What is going to fill you or make you feel nourished, encouraged as well, is different to what it is for somebody else. And then now you can finally find freedom. You can finally find release, because this is dropping the burdens or letting go of that expectation of how you were supposed to conduct yourself within your energy, your time, and your home, your career, however it is, you know, even just yourself, you know, how you carry yourself. So it's really such a nice or beautiful journey that we're seeing here with these cards of, you know, you just kind of creating that picture all over again, challenging what actions or thoughts or behaviors are either aiding or disrupting that, allows you to make better decisions, to move and go to where you are best visible, best seen, and then you step into a creation energy all over again, and you let go of what doesn't serve you. Wow. Yo, that's lit. Yo, that's lit. Thank you, Spirit. Thank you, Spirit. So beautiful that, like, you know, going into it just like unpacks and unravels over time, right? Thank you. What do we have for resurrection? Oh, wow. The Magician, gang. What do you do? Hey, listen, like, I want to pull another card, but at the same time, you know, I just think about how powerful the Magician is. I mean, this right here is having it all. You know, I was speaking to how in this card, this was like that Midas touch, you know, where whatever you've attracted or whatever you've touched has turned to gold, and you've touched yourself. You have now given yourself the opportunity to turn to gold. And I don't think it's a mistake that, you know, I even came to this reading with all of these metals on me today. And I think it's a beautiful thing that, you know, Spirit's using me as well as an example of just what it is to hone in and tap in to the power within that we have within ourselves, you know. This is, you know, I mean, here I was thinking about pulling another card, but it's like I don't have to, because the Magician has honed in on all of the elements, you know, fire, earth, air, water, sound, spirit, ether. Like, you are the element or the elemental, if you want to speak of it that way. And this is speaking to this version that's coming up next, which is in balance. This is you allowing the energy work to take place, the alchemy, the transmutation. This is your power, honing in on that, stepping into that, and not even being afraid to be powerful and actually using that power. How beautiful it is when you realize that you can manifest, you can create, you can conjure up, you know, like a magician. You make magic, you make new, you know, by combining things, which is where I'm getting the alchemy from as well. So when we think about the great alchemists, you know, turning lead into gold, what is it that you want to change? What energy work can you do to shift the vibration, shift the energy to, again, with me even pulling this card to the side, it's like, what is it that you want to actually let go of? Because, you know, just like this character has the fists clenched, it's like you are already holding on to energy. I mean, with me even pulling this card this way, it's like it's almost being pulled to the upright. Thank you, Spirit, for saying that we don't have to pull any more cards, because it's right here. We can see it all. You have this energy within you. And the other things that are being dropped are just the distractions. It's just the other influences of the other energies that are not allowing you to give and take in the manner that you should yourself, right? So this is actually coming across with this first card again, just coming back to the beginning with the Six of Pentacles. It's like your hand is full of things, or you are carrying things that are not for you to carry. But the moment you give to yourself what it is for you to carry, you ultimately drop what isn't yours. It's interesting that, as much as there are two pentacles here, the big pentacles shown on the card, there are three inside the hand and one being given to the other hand. So it's like your left hand doesn't know what your right hand is doing, type of a thing. And because the one hand is holding too much, the hand that's supposed to be part of the cooking up with spirit, now that hand is not being able to receive what the other hand is trying to do, because again, they were trying to work in tandem. They were trying to get into this balance, right? So three coins in hand, one coin from the other hand, and this is what's happening here, where in the Four of Pentacles, those three coins are finally released and both hands are now on that one coin that was introduced. Wow. Yo, that's crazy. That's crazy. That is so crazy. And now you holding on to that energy, your own energy, the energy that you've chosen or that is best in alignment with you, allows you to step into this Midas touch, allows you to resurrect, because now you realize like, oh damn, all those interests about the moon, now look here, the moon is golden. It's like you've mastered your rituals, you've mastered your tool, your craft, how you tap into the different elements. So, you might be doing certain things. Let's say earth energy is needing you to ground, and you get more grounded, you do more meditation. Water energy is needing you to do more cleansing, so you are drinking more water, or you are around more bodies of water, you know what I mean, or you involve water, let's say at your altar, things of that nature. But I'm just using that as an example to say that with each element there are certain things that you can do, but whatever those things are, those combination of those different actions, behaviors, habits, rituals are the ones that are allowing you to become the best magician, alchemist, creator, transmuter that you can best be, because this energy is available to you. And then the next question is, what do you want to create? What do you want to become? What do you want to transform into? Which is what this is, So it's like, here is the situation and the energy. And then here's the change of energy or the challenge, right? And then here is this potential outcome of what's actually, or the result of this change in energy, right? And then here we're going to have the outcome, or what is the potential outcome of what is happening over here. And it's beautiful because, it's like you being gold. It's like you have become magnetic to your desires. It's like, magician, magnetic. I'm getting the MAG part as well, very much standing out there. And I'm also thinking like mags, like on car tires, like how it's the motion, right? That perpetual motion allowed you to go from magnetic to magician. And it's that part of you that was just transmuted, because both of those words have MAG in it. But what you appended, what you attached, the netic or the ishan, is like what you are ultimately choosing. It's like there's the base or the foundation, and then you choose to what you want to add to it, around it, on it, through it. You know what I mean? And that is that tower that I was speaking to earlier, that you allow certain things to fall apart, whereas you are actually allowing them to fall into place. So what's falling into place is you honoring yourself and manifesting, creating the things that you fully and truly wanted for yourself. This is the second major arcana card on the table right now, before we even go into the balance. But it's interesting that second major arcana, and it's like a pre-tell of how two major energies are going to, or two realizations, whether in the foreground, background. I know some of us feel this intensely while others not, but I mean, the presence of two major arcanas is already just leading me to, hey, two energies, balance, his and hers, ego, spirit, masculine, feminine. But yeah, this is just very much you honing in. This is you having recognized that you are everything. You can have it all, and becoming that, Wow, how dope is that? How dope is that? And for balance, oh wow, right at the back. One more. Okay. Okay, let's take a third one. Okay. Oh wow. Okay, Spirit. I see you gang. I see you gang. I see you gang. All right. So over here we have. Okay, we're gonna read these two together and these two together. Okay, let's go 2-2. All right. So for this harmonic balance, right, we have the Knight of Swords, and then we also have the Six of Cups in reverse. And then the additional two cards that I have here, it's the Sun and the Eight of Pentacles. And I think this is like a bit of a side message, or perhaps what we're going to close with. But let me go with these two first. I think it'll actually like tie in and just wrap up what is all happening here. Oh yes, and we need to still look at what's happening here at the back of the deck, which is the Three of Wands in reverse, right? And I'm going to speak to that in line with the desire. But what's going on here, right, is like how you have finally found this balance, achieved this balance, embodied this balance, even recognized it within yourself. Because here again is speaking to inner peace. And by the way, my lecture has been going off, and I always take that as a confirmation that, you know, we're on point, we're on top of this thing, right? But you are now quickly taking action towards that. The Knight of Swords is the quickest knight, or one of the fastest moving cards in the deck, right? Or the fastest knight here in the tarot. So this is like very much swift. You know, I'm even seeing like the Eight of Wands in my mind's eye right now. But this is, you know, you truly living your truth. Like, having discovered what your truth is, or having received this new insight, this new download, this new information or wisdom, it's like information is becoming wisdom. This is like the information at work. You know, this is it's like how data becomes information, because you took the pieces of, you know, the artifacts, and then you put them together to be able to tell a story or derive the insights. But then now you even took it a step further by now playing that out, or putting those insights, that information to work, and then it becomes wisdom. And wisdom, it's something that's earned. Wisdom comes with experience. So this again is just that reminder to say that you didn't go through everything that you went through just to, like, you know, chill and not do anything about it. I mean, an example that's coming to mind now is, let's say, like for the people who are into like academics, you become, let's say, a doctor or a professor or a master in a certain field, and then you don't go work somewhere, you don't go lecture somewhere, or, you know, you don't put all of that time and energy that you put into a particular craft, a skill or ability or capability, and you're just chilling with it. But this here is you putting it to work. And the moment you do that, now you have experience. Because, you know, again, using the academics as an example, you know, everyone can say that they're a doctor if they've got the qualification. But the doctor who complements or supplements that with experience is now a better doctor, a more evolved or a more attuned, a more equipped, a more skilled, a more like a well-versed doctor at what it is that they're doing. So at this point, it's like how, granted, this is the journey that you went through, and now you are this golden figure who has now balanced everything. But now you need to put those lessons, those trials, those tribulations, all the things that you've overcome, they are actually going to be put to work. They're going to be put to the test. And how that is moving and in motion, of course, is what we're going to get to here with these last cards. But it's a matter of not forsaking your blessing. You know, remembering what was given, or in some cases, what was forgiven. Remembering that this is yours and it's not meant to be forsaken. It's like you know, that saying of, when you know better, you do better. There is no turning back now. There is no way that you can go back to the past and pretend as if you don't know that, you know, you are godly, you are divine. It's like, what's that saying about like being ignorant is bliss? It's like you know too much at this point. You know, it's like I'm getting the image, or like a reminder of how, you know, like secret movies or like spy movies or like just movies with like cops and ops and things of that nature. It's like when somebody knows too much, they become a threat or they become like a target of sorts. And the threat that you could become here is to yourself by not living through or with or within or without of this information, you know, because it's within you, it's outside of you, it's within you, it's without of you. So it's like that's you bringing it into balance, like knowing what a spiritual life is and knowing what a physical life is and harmonizing those things, knowing that there are some times where you need to honor and please the ego and sometimes you need to honor and please the spirit. But when you can do both things at the same time, you are this balanced person who can like levitate and then, you know, master the sun and the moon, and I mean just bring things into balance, which is what we're seeing in the image of this card over here. But this is a gift to you, you know. This is also a reminder that having gone through everything that you've gone through, you are now at this gifted place, position to say there's no dropping this now. There is no more like turning back in a sense, you know, because as I'm looking at this Knight of Swords running into, you know, or facing towards the Magician card, it's like you are the magician. There's no way that you can now be like the apprentice or like, you know, it's like you are, let's say you were in like Hogwarts, right, in Harry Potter. You are now like Dumbledore. There's no way you can become the first year student all over again. It's like you know too much magic. You've seen too much of what magic does. You've seen too much of how your energy can be used to impact, to influence, to uplift, to bring about transformation. That not only for yourself, but for the people around you, that you have been given this gift for you to run with it and make the most of it. Wow. Yo, that's crazy. Again, just remember, don't forsake this thing. This was given to you or forgiven. And for me to say forgiven, it's like it was predestined, you know. And again, it's like there's just something about, you know, with me thinking about the past, it's like there's no going back, you know. The veil has been lifted, the blinds have been lifted. You see too much, you know too much, you know. I'm even getting that you perhaps are, confirmation, but definitely an intuitive person. It's like you feel things, you know. Again, your feelings are your compass, your feelings are your guide as to where it is that you are going or are needing to go, but your feelings are also protection to you. You know, interestingly, at the beginning I was saying how this could be like you and your younger self, and here it's actually being shown that this balance could have occurred perhaps in your younger years, but it's also now a matter of saying that, okay, again, if it was going to occur in your younger years, that's not to forsake it because you needed to go through this. And it's like here it comes around again, and now in this time you've actually achieved it, but now you get to honor that part of you, because now that you've achieved it in this time, in this era, in this period, in this lifetime as well, you know, if you are of the belief of like multiple lifetimes or incarnations, this is the lifetime where you get to fulfill what was unfulfilled in the previous lifetime or the younger self. Cool. So just getting to the back of the deck, right? More background before we close off this reading with the last two cards there. And it's interesting. We got the sun, gang. So we were speaking to earlier how, you know, with this desire card, I was getting the energy of going out there, going into the world to look for something that you had found within yourself, and how this whole set of oracle cards is like the blueprint or like a cycle. And this is exactly that, you know, with the Three of Wands. For me, it's like how, or the next level or the explanation of this desire, where, you know, you set your sights on discovering your highest self, but then you charted in the wrong path, you charted in the wrong direction. Instead of looking within yourself, you looked outside of yourself for what it is that you are truly seeking to find. And this now is a question of saying that, you know, granted, we all go on that journey within, or the journey to find our highest self, but the opposite of that is the lowest self, right? What was the true and honest desire? Because it's like, instead of going up and away all the time, it's like now you kind of needed to hone in or zone in and tune back into yourself with this Three of Wands to actually reevaluate, like, could I be moving very quickly in the wrong direction? or can I actually come back to the drawing board? It's even giving me, again, like blueprint, which would be like the Two of Wands. It's like taking a step back to actually evaluate, like, what is it that I actually want for myself, and how do I get into achieving that? With me even pushing this up and it moving, touching this Ten of Cups, it's like I was saying, it's like you have this idea, or it's like a vision board or an inspiration board of what it is that you've always wanted, and now you had to just realize that the direction that you were going in wasn't what was actually fulfilling you and your desires. Wow, look at that. Page of Pentacles. More learning, more study was required. New ideas, new experiences were required that were actually going to help you know more about who you are. And it's interesting that I was using that example about academics, and here is this character with the book. So with more study, with more knowledge, that sheds this light on aspects of you. It's like, you read something and you realize that, oh damn, like that's me. It's like how we see things in our outside world that were just directing us to ourselves, which was this mirror. But it's like Googling yourself, in search of yourself through the environment or places and people and experiences around you that drew you back to seeing, like, oh, I'm him or I'm her. And wow, look at that, Queen of Cups, and we have another mirror. Wow, that just ties in so beautifully with what I just said. And there I was like bringing in the mirror analogy in it, and there we go, being confirmed again at the back of the deck with the Queen of Cups. That is so dope. And in this card we do have a mirror as well. Yo, that's so dope, man. That is so dope. But yeah, let's go back to the back of the deck. But this is really cool, just to like add to this, before we jump to the last two cards. This is you realizing that you can be compassionate, which is exactly what this is. The unwavering love, you having taken the time to learn and love those aspects of yourself, nurture them, not shun them, and realize that, oh, you know what, I love the color blue, and I've always been told blue, or in fact, let me say the color purple, actually, because this is something that I experienced recently, where I bought like purple headphones, and somebody asks me like, yo, do you play for the other team? Of course, implying that, my sexual preferences and so on. But I'm thinking like, yo, I can like a color and it doesn't have to mean anything, but of course, learning more, knowing more means that I've expanded more, and me not being so firm or knowing myself or loving myself and not like hindering or blocking myself from liking things because of what is being perpetuated doesn't affect me so much that even when she said what she said, now I don't have to feel as though like, oh no, the color purple is for only people of a certain sexual orientation. Like, what is that? It's crazy. I mean, guys can like pink, guys can like purple, and it doesn't mean that there's anything wrong with them, because we can all like any color. It's insane. But okay, just to be a bit sensitive, I won't say that word. Well, I did say it, but I'm not oblivious to the fact that that person was going through what they were going through. They are going through their own experience, their own influences, and where we are and where other people are in their life, it's different. So because we are not able to love ourselves, we are able to love others equally and accept them and know that, that person's also on their own journey. They will learn and discover themselves. So even in my interaction with that person, granted, here I am saying it's insane because from my perspective, my opinion, because I've evolved from that, but then it didn't make me or prompt me to treat her any differently. Instead, I made a joke out of the situation. I ended up telling her like, yo, if I'm playing for a team, I'm playing for the gaming team, because it was like gaming headphones, because it had a whole mic and that type of a thing. And it's again, me having stepped into that magician energy where somebody projects something or directs an energy towards me, and I tune it or work with it and make it something else that is more fulfilling, something that is more uplifting. And, a previous version of me who was perhaps more influenced, more gullible, could have fallen for that. But now being so adept at recognizing that, knowing so much, knowing too much about energy, it's a recognition to say all energy is available for me to work with. And the moment that I can see that the energy is there, then maybe I can actually influence that person to say, no, I can like any color that I want, which is part of what I mentioned. But I also flipped it around and said, yes, I actually maybe am part of a team, but the gaming team, the godly team, the team that honors myself and what I truly want, the self team, the spirit team, the self-love team, which is what we have here. And I'm here with you guys, the gang on Roots Holistic. Like, what's up? And here I am able to share the story with you. So take my story and look at yourself. Where can you kind of find something like this for you, related to you and your experience? And which situations perhaps have you been in recently, or that maybe even sit in your mind, or that play back in your mind, where you realize like, oh damn, I could have, I should have, I would have. But forgiving yourself and deciding who you want to be, or deciding the energy that you actually want to hold, right? 4 of Pentacles and 6 of Pentacles here, how you want to give your energy, how you want to work with the energy, such that when those situations, opportunities, challenges even come your way again, that you are ready and you are, equipped to do the best that you can do with that energy. I think that's dope. I think that's super amazing, right? And then just wrapping up here with the last 2 cards. Oh, give me a second. Oh gosh. Just a little stretch. Okay, still recording as well. Wow, imagine all that talking, such a powerful, beautiful message, and it wasn't recording. That would have that would have just like thrown me like, off, But again, I would have understood that, okay, it's just for me. But thankfully, it still is recording, and again, that's what it is. What is it that, like, this is performing part of the reading? It's like we are needing to check ourselves, take that step back. I forgot which card I was talking about. Oh, this one here, the Queen of Swords, where we are now looking at like, hey, are we living our truth? Are we expressing our truth? Are we in a position where we can start to move forward with this data that we've turned to information? And what is, closing off the reading with these last 2 cards, the Sun and the Upright and the 8 of Pentacles, what is going to make us our happiest versions? We were speaking to how, the 10 of Cups speaks, like I was saying, you're happily ever after, your most fulfilled experience with yourself and other people, or within yourself, your spirit team. But you being your happiest self, you even experiencing like miracles, you experiencing like God's favor, divine light, being elevated, recognized, being visible, being seen, joy, happiness, like all of these positive emotions all wrapped up into one. Again, I was saying earlier how you have like the golden touch or the Midas touch, and I mean this figure here is in gold, and over here this figure is also in gold, yellow, orange. It's like you become like a supernova. I was speaking to Elsa earlier how this Emperor is a tree on a hill. It's being seen, such that you are the one who catches the sun, the sunrise, the sunset. It's all on you. The light is on you. But it's like from the Emperor, from you honing in on the Emperor and the Magician, you become the next major energy on the table, which is the sun. And you've honed in on that. It's like you've drawn the sun energy. And there I was speaking to like different rituals, like with the different elements. So for example, let's say to honor your fire element, you spend time watching sunrises and sunsets, and perhaps using that as like meditation time, or just time to connect with yourself, or you do something involving fire. But of course I'm thinking of the sun as like being a star, and we were talking about the stars and the moon and so on. But here you are honing in on this fire energy and knowing that if I am the light, if I'm the bright, if I'm the warmth, and I can do that for myself and I can do it for the people around me, I'm not going to forsake that, right? But then it's like working on that and fully living in it. But of course, with this being in the reverse, it's like you're not going to work on that, because if you know that you are the sun, you are the happiest and most fulfilled embodiment, expression of all the tarot cards. You know, you are the example, you are the one that brings life, you bring heat, you bring growth to things. Then you just have to stay true to the vision. You know, I'm getting that phrase of living by the same faith that you were saved by, and this is not abandoning that, not going against that, and understanding that even though you are this version, there is work to do. You have to get to work, and don't forsake that. As hard as it might be, sometimes you might feel demotivated, or you might feel drained, strained perhaps as well, or perhaps sometimes you're not even recognized for the efforts that you put into stuff. But it's not a reason for you not to keep going or pursuing whatever it is that you need to pursue, because the right people find the light. The right people who seek the light will find it. Those that are in alignment with the light will align with it. We are constantly improving ourselves and our experiences to become energetic matches or vibrational matches with certain people, places, and spaces and things. And those that are in alignment with this energy, with this reading, this timeless reading, will find it when they've aligned with it, and it will resonate with them, and it will mean something to them because they have went through this process of becoming, of loving, of transforming, and of balancing. This was a beautiful reading. Thank you for joining me again here on Roots Holistic. And again, check the statistics, man. How you living your life, and how can you best improve and maintain? And yeah, I just wish you all the best, yeah? Much love, much light, much dark as well, of course. We acknowledge both. But yeah, let it be beautiful, and catch you next time. Peace.